Welcome back to the deep dive where we get right into it. Today we're diving headfirst into the world of pro wrestling.
Specifically, a huge night on Monday Night Raw. This was live from Birmingham, Alabama. Legacy Arena.
Yeah, you could feel that energy, right? Over 10,000 fans and everyone's buzzing. It's the road to SummerSlam, officially.
Absolutely. And our mission today, well, is to unpack what happened on Raw number 1677. That aired July 14th, 2025.
And this was a big one because it came right after a packed weekend. You had NXT Great American Bash.
Saturday night's main event, and Evolution as well. The fallout from those shows really set the table for SummerSlam.
Which is a 2-day event this year, first time ever.
Right, so a lot riding on this Raw.
And straight away, I mean, right from the recap, we got some massive news, stuff that shifted everything.
Yeah, first up, the recap confirmed Goldberg. His career is over. Officially done.
Wow. That's a big one, a real generational shift.
Definitely. And then on the flip side, Naomi cashed in at Evolution, and boom, new women's world champion.
Successful cash in, just like that.
It's striking how fast these huge changes were just laid out. Before the show really even started, we knew the title pictures were scrambled.
Yeah, and we saw Gunther, the world heavyweight champ, arriving. He's waiting to see who wins that gauntlet match later.
That's for his SummerSlam challenger. You've got CM Punk, LA Knight, Braun Breaker, Jey Uso, Penta. Stacked field.
Seriously stacked. And, a quick update, too, on Seth Rollins. His knee looks like it got injured in that match with LA Knight.
Right. So lots happening even before the opening segment. But the show, proper, kicked off, well, with a bang, thanks to the new champ.
Yeah, Naomi. She did not waste any time. Came out with that title.
And just radiated confidence. Made this bold statement about her cash in, how smart it was to go after IYO, SKY, not Tiffany Stratton. Very strategic.
And she wasn't shy about it either, was she? Basically said she had grown out of the kindergarten of SmackDown.
Yeah. That she put the whole Raw locker room on notice. Anyone thinking about her title, beware.
It felt like more than just a win announcement. It was like, I'm here. This is my era now.
But, declarations like that, they get tested quick on Raw.
Oh, yeah. First interruption. Rhea Ripley.
Yep. Rhea came out basically looking more annoyed than anything, said Naomi's now on her list.
And then before Naomi could even really respond, IYO SKY's music hits.
Right. Storms out, demanding her rematch, tells Rhea, get in line.
Naomi just kind of laughed it off, though. Kept her cool.
She did, which is when Adam Pearce, the Raw GM, had to step in, try and manage the chaos.
And he handled it pretty smartly, I thought. Praised all three women, congratulated Naomi.
But then framed it perfectly. Said they needed a mega match for the 2-day SummerSlam.
So he made it official right then and there. Triple threat for the Women's World Championship.
Naomi versus Rhea Ripley versus IYO SKY.
Wow. Okay, so what does that tell you right off the bat about where the women's division is headed on Raw?
Well, it tells me they're not waiting around. Instant high-stakes drama. Naomi's cash-in didn't just get her the title. It, immediately created this huge main event picture.
Yeah, one rivalry turned into a three-way war instantly.
Exactly. It's not just about the belt. It's about who's on top.
Okay, so from that explosive start, we then shifted focus a bit. Michael Hull and Corey Graves pointed us towards the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
Another big title picture heating up. They set the stage for a 2 out of 3 falls match. Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley.
And the winner gets Becky Lynch for the title at SummerSlam. Huge stakes again.
Definitely. And before the match, Lyra had this intense interview with Jackie Redmond.
Yeah, she seemed really fired up, said she was done playing nice, ready to put Bayley and Becky on the ground, wanted her title back from Becky.
You could feel that determination. But then, naturally,
Bayley interrupts, of course.
Right. Bayley comes in, says she's the one focused on the IC title, basically tells Lyra, you're in my way.
Set the tone for the match, didn't it? A real power struggle.
And the match itself delivered. Almost 20 minutes, back and forth.
Bayley got the first fall pretty quickly, right? Under 2 minutes.
Yeah, pinfall, 1.26 inches. But Lyra, she showed some serious resilience. Fought back, got the second fall around the 8-minute mark, evened it up.
And then finally, Lyra gets the win, hit the Nightwing for the third fall.
Yep, exactly. About 10.5 minutes into that third fall, hard-fought win for Lyra.
And as soon as the bell rings,
Becky Lynch's music hits. She walks right out.
No messing around. Straight face-to-face with Lyra, her new SummerSlam challenger.
Yeah, that stare down pretty much locked it in. We know that match is happening. Another big one for SummerSlam.
Okay, so while that's happening, there's another thread developing, too, from Evolution, the Battle Royal winner, Stephanie Vacher.
That's right. She won a shot at the women's world title, but hers is at Clash in Paris.
Okay, interesting wrinkle. And she had an interview, too.
Yeah, with Jackie Redmond again. Super confident.
Yeah.
So she's taking the title in Paris. Full stop.
But, confidence attracts challengers, or at least loudmouths.
Yeah. Enter Chelsea Green. Chelsea comes out, says she should be the one representing WWE in Paris, calls Vacher a loser. Just classic Chelsea.
Did it get physical?
Almost. Chelsea brought her Secret Service entourage. They had to step in to stop a brawl right there.
Her personal security, that's amazing.
It really adds to her whole character, the over-the-top entitlement.
So naturally, this sets up a match. Chelsea Green versus Nikki Bella,
Right.
the Hall of Famer.
And Nikki Bella versus Chelsea Green. And Nikki actually got the win. Hit the Rack Attack 2.0.
Okay, good for Nikki. But knowing Chelsea, that wasn't the end of it, was it?
Not even close.
Yeah.
The moment Nikki wins, Chelsea's Secret Service, Piper Niven, and Alba fire. They jump Nikki, attack her after the match.
Seriously. Okay, that's low.
But then, here's the twist. Stephanie Vacher runs down to the ring.
The same Stephanie Vacher that Chelsea just insulted.
The very same. Vacher makes the save for Nikki Bella, fends off Piper and Alba.
Whoa. Okay, that's unexpected. They were just about to fight earlier.
Exactly. So now you've got this potential, unlikely alliance forming. What does that mean? It's another layer.
So if you're keeping track at home, we've got multiple title paths, new rivalries, and now these weird, unexpected alliances forming. The women's division feels really dynamic right now.
Very unpredictable, which is great. Now, away from the ring for a bit, we got some key backstage stuff. The Judgment Day, for instance.
Right. Finn Balor was showing off all their gold.
Yeah, loaded with titles. But Dominic Mysterio looked pretty worried, nervous about AJ Styles.
Finn tried to calm him down, though, right? Said something about his medical clearance.
Exactly. Finn's like, look, as long as you're not medically cleared, you don't have to face AJ. But then he immediately pivots.
Pivots how?
He tells Dom how important it is for Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez to keep those women's tag titles warm until Liv Morgan gets back.
So using Dom's situation to ensure the whole group stays strong.
Pretty much. And Dom buys in. He actually goes out to ringside with Raquel and Roxanne for their match.
And did it help? They were facing the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi San. That's tough.
It did help. It was a non-title match, but Raquel and Roxanne got the win.
Yeah.
And yeah, Dominic interfered. Crucial interference to get the pin.
So Dom plays his part for the group, even if it's, bending the rules.
Definitely. But that medical clearance thing, it came back up later.
Oh, how so?
Adam Pearce found Dominic backstage, and Pearce looked, let's say, skeptical, pointed out how healthy Dominic seemed during that ringside interference.
Caught him. So what did Pearce do?
Mandated a reevaluation next week. Dom has to be checked out again by the doctors.
And the stakes.
Huge. If the evaluation is negative, meaning if he's cleared, he defends the Intercontinental Championship against AJ Styles at SummerSlam.
Wow. Okay, so AJ might get his match after all. How did Finn react?
Finn immediately jumped in, trying to reassure Dom, told him, no chance you won't get cleared.
Yeah.
Very confident, maybe too confident, like he thinks he can manipulate it.
And AJ Styles, did we see him?
Just a quick shot of him backstage, literally praying Dom does get cleared.
Oh, that's perfect. The classic setup. Injured champ trying to duck the challenger desperate for the match. Love it.
It's wrestling storytelling 101, done well.
Okay. What else happened backstage? There was quite a bit. Paul Heyman.
Yeah, Heyman gave a non-update on Seth Rollins' injury. Classic Heyman.
Yeah.
Didn't say much, but made sure to mention Rollins has until next June to cash in that briefcase.
So reminding everyone of the power Rollins still holds, even injured. Subtle pressure.
Exactly. No pressure at all, he said, which means the opposite. Oh, and he also predicted Braun Breaker would win the Gauntlet match later, planting seeds.
Interesting. What about the New Day?
They had a funny segment trying to get Adam Pearce to give them a tag title rematch. Even brought wigs for his missing hair.
Haha. Did it work?
Nope. Pearce wasn't having it. But it was entertaining. Shows their persistence,
True. We also heard from Rusev after his win over Sheamus last week.
Yeah, Jackie Redmond interviewed him. He was very dismissive. Not surprised he won. Not interested in a rematch Pearce apparently set up.
Why not?
Said he came back for titles, not to fight redheads, just completely focused on gold. Very intense.
Okay, establishing his new character focus and carrying Cross.
Cross cut one of his dark, creepy promos, accused Sami Zayn of faking an injury, told him to stay home, called himself the only one telling the truth. Standard Cross mind games.
Trying to get under Sami's skin. Plus, a reminder about Cena and Cody Rhodes facing off on Friday.
Right. Setting up another big confrontation.
So all these backstage bits, the serious, the funny, the creepy, they all weave together, don't they?
Absolutely. They show motivations, alliances, potential betrayals.
Yeah.
It all feeds into the matches and the bigger picture. It makes you care about why they're fighting.
Right. Which brings us to the main event. And man, did this deliver on drama.
It really did. First, Gunther comes out. World heavyweight champion. Still basking in the glow of ending Goldberg's career.
And he was arrogant, wasn't he? Just radiating that champion's confidence, maybe overconfident.
Totally. Gloated about Goldberg, dismissed everyone in the Gauntlet match, said he'd just watch from his VIP lounge because, whoever wins doesn't matter to him.
Famous last words, maybe? Because his confidence got challenged immediately.
Right away, Braun Breaker's music hits. And he doesn't come out alone.
Who was with him?
Paul Heyman.
Whoa, Heyman with Breaker. Okay, that's a statement.
Huge statement. Breaker marches down, gets right in Gunther's face. Intense stare down.
And Heyman, what'd he say?
Heyman took the mic and basically anointed Breaker. Called him the next big thing, a true Steiner, said he'd break walls.
Wow, pulling out the Steiner name.
And then he promised, guaranteed, that Breaker would beat Gunther with a spear at SummerSlam and become the new champion. Direct, in-your-face declaration.
Talk about throwing down the gauntlet, literally, right before the gauntlet match.
Perfect timing. So the match starts. Nearly 42 minutes long, grueling.
And Breaker, fueled by that intro, just went on a rampage at first, right?
Yeah. An absolute tear. First, he eliminates Penta. Spear, done.
Right. Next.
LA Knight, spear, done. Dominance.
2 down. Who was next for him?
Jey Uso. Now, this one. Breaker hit the spear and eliminated Jey, but Bronson Reed interfered just before.
Reed interfered to help Breaker or just to screw Jey?
Looked like helping Breaker, maybe. Or at least they have a common enemy in Jey. Hinted at something there between Reed and Breaker.
Interesting. So Breaker eliminates 3 guys, looks unstoppable, then who comes out?
CM Punk, the final entrant.
Punk versus Breaker for the SummerSlam shot. How did that go?
It was a battle. Breaker was dominant, but Punk, he's crafty. He weathered the storm.
And it hit the GTS.
GTS. Got the pin on Breaker. CM Punk is the #1 contender.
Wow. So Punk wins. What was Gunther's reaction in his VIP lounge?
He looked maybe a little surprised, but still confident. Almost like he still doesn't see Punk as a real threat, smirking.
Okay, Gunther might regret that. But the night wasn't over, was it? Not by a long shot.
Not even close. Punk is celebrating his win, finally gets his title shot, and bam. Bronson Reed attacks him from behind.
Reed again. Just brutal.
Jey Uso runs down to try and help Punk.
Good for G, making the save.
Tries to. But then Braun Breaker comes back too. He spears G, then spears Punk again.
Oh, man. So Punk and G are both down. Breaker and Reed standing tall.
Looked like they were setting up for Reed's finisher, the tsunami, on both of them. A double tsunami. Complete destruction.
This is chaos. Where does it even go from?
And then the lights drop.
Wait, what?
Music hits. The crowd goes absolutely insane, like deafening roar.
Who is it?
Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. He's back.
No way. Roman Reigns is back on Raw.
Unannounced. Unbelievable moment. He hits the ring and just starts cleaning house. Takes out Bronson Reed. Takes out Braun Breaker. Superman punches. Spears. Just dismantling them.
Holy, what was Heyman doing? His reaction?
Heyman looked like he'd seen a ghost. Utter shock. Disbelief. His guy Breaker just got wrecked by Roman Reigns.
Wow. Okay, so Roman clears the ring. Then what?
He helps Jey Uso up. His cousin. A very loaded moment, given their history.
Yeah, that's complex.
And then Roman turns and stares down CM Punk, who's just gotten back to his feet looking stunned.
A fight? Are they going to go at it?
No, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It was intense, but almost like an understanding like, okay, we both just dealt with them. Maybe a common enemy thing for now.
Huh. Reigns, Jey, and Punk against Breaker and Reed.
That's what it looked like in that moment. And then Roman gives one last long look back at Heyman, Breaker, and Reed on the ramp, totally stunned. End of show.
Okay, my head is spinning. That return changes everything.
Everything. It's not just about Gunther and Punk anymore. Where does Roman fit in? What about the bloodline? What about Heyman?
Right. What does this mean for the World Heavyweight title? For Jey, for Punk, for Heyman's allegiances? The entire landscape of Raw just got flipped upside down.
Completely reshaped.
Okay, let's try and recap this incredible episode. We had Naomi arriving as the new Women's World Champ, immediately thrown into a SummerSlam triple threat.
Yep. We saw Lyra Valkyria punch her ticket to face Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental title. Plus that weird Stephanie Vacker-Nikki Bella alliance butting against Chelsea Green.
Plus all the backstage stuff, Judgment Day's plans, Dominic's maybe injury.
Rusev's focus, Cross's mind games, Heyman playing puppet master.
Yeah.
Until the end, anyway.
And then that explosive main event, the Gauntlet Match, Punk winning.
And the post-match beatdown, only for Roman Reigns to make a shocking return and throw everything into chaos.
So for you listening, what's the takeaway? This single night of Raw totally changed the game heading into SummerSlam. Massive matches set, unexpected turns.
Yeah, the whole path looks different now.
Which leads us to that final thought, something for you to chew on. With the road to SummerSlam now in absolute overdrive, and Raw's landscape totally altered by returns and new challenges, what's the lasting impact of this one night going to be?
And which of these rivalries, these new dynamics, which ones will truly define the rest of the summer? Lots to think about.